Lexington.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time.
For all of us.
For all of us.
For all of us to show up for kids.
It's time to show up for all of our kids.
It is definitely time.
Agree.
And a very moving message there. And what we're talking about here is October is Domestic Violence Prevention Month. The City of Lexington is launching the next phase of the It's Time Lexington initiative, focusing on how domestic violence impacts children.
So this is a big deal right now. Melissa Wallace and Willie Carver joins us now to share more about the initiative. Thank you both so much for being here. Tell us a little bit about how we can help you all.
Well, yeah, like you said, Domestic Violence Awareness Month is October, and so there are lots of ways that the community can get involved. You know, the first way, obviously, is to wear your purple. It's Purple Thursday throughout October, and so we would love it if you would take a selfie or take a picture of a purple pumpkin you've painted and tag It's Time. Or the coalition in your social media, there are lots of ways for the community to get involved, and so you know the It's Time for Kids movement is really about all of the easy ways that we can show up for kids. Willie has been doing a great job, as well as several of our community members, to kind of provide some insights on what that looks like.
And what I know from being a teacher in the state of Kentucky, from working closely with families that deal with domestic violence, is that story is the single most important thing that we can do. That means being willing to talk about things in ways that make us feel comfortable. That means realizing that expanding our comfort zone is the single most important thing that we can do for young people. It means showing up for them, listening, watching for signs. And connecting with organizations like It's Time Kentucky.
How can we tell with some of the signs? Because with children, sometimes it can be tricky, and then in others, it's like slapping your face, you know. How are there ways that we can assist maybe some children?
Well, you know, I think that one of the most unfortunate aspects of the impact that domestic violence has on kids is oftentimes it presents like behavioral issues, and so a lot of you know, learning disabilities and behavioral issues are kind of getting misassessed by folks. So you know, kids present with you know, behavior that is oftentimes you know deemed as naughty, right? There's also insomnia, lack of sleep, changing in eating habits. There are a multitude of ways that it presents, and so that's why it's so important to not be afraid to open up those discussions with kids and ask them if they're okay. We don't have to be afraid to have these conversations, because it's not our job to fix it alone. It's a community problem that requires a community response, and you know, the It's Time Coalition, the coalition and the It's Time movement is here to help. So we encourage folks to go to our website at itstimelexington.org to you know, get more information and assistance on what those conversations can look like.
Right, and sometimes that's what you need. You need a little guidance, you know, so you can help somebody in that next phase. So that's what this whole big phase with It's Time is all about, is trying to reach out to these kids.
That's right. It's really about how to do those really meaningful check-ins with kids, to open up those conversations, and to provide encouragement and support. You know, some of the best advice that I saw actually came from Willie, when he said to never lose an opportunity to show kids how big and beautiful their life can be in spite of violence and abuse.
So Willie, what does this mean for you, this time, this initiative, this coalition? What does it mean for you?
I think first and foremost, it means recognizing that there is a lot of hope, and often we want shadows because they're the most comfortable thing. When we can say to kids, here's a story about this bad thing, and here's how someone got out of it. Here's a story about someone who succeeded. We are not adding more pain to their life. We are very much saying to them there's a way out. And a lot of our culture of silence ends up creating more pain, more consequences for these children in terms of their lives. So for me, having conversations, telling stories is about starting as quickly as we can to mitigate some of the worst circumstances and make sure that these kids have hope. Because I have many family members who are victims of domestic violence, and they have really good lives, but those lives needed intervention, and there's a lot of people who want to help.
Absolutely, we're loaded up with people out
Yeah.
there. You're right. You said you're an educator.
Yeah.
And what's the age range that you teach?
High school students.
High school students,
and college students now.
So you see them in their that coming of age phase right there. So you get to see when some of these things are really taking a toll on them, right?
Yes, and I think some people think I need to have this magic moment where I'm going to have the answer right then and there, but the magic moment is the context you create the entire time. It's letting the students know from day one, this is a class where we can talk about a difficult issue, and this is a teacher who will care if I talk about this difficult issue with them. So I don't think we need to feel like we have all the answers all the time. We just need to be the sort of person that someone will ask a question to.
Listen,
Yeah.
you can tell what kind of a warm fella
I mean,
he is.
he
you
is
know?
so inviting.
From the glasses to everything is coming
Yeah.
in. So we appreciate what you're doing
Thank
too.
you.
Right, and it can definitely be difficult. I know you were talking about high school students, but many high school students have to see their abuser over and over again on a day-to-day basis, and that can be difficult within itself. So for folks who are watching who maybe have to deal with a child who's in that situation and maybe they're scared to even leave themselves, what advice do you have for them?
I would say figure out who you can talk to and talk to them. Look at making sure you are safe first and foremost. That is the single most important thing. And realize that you can get safer and happier, and that's going to involve finding the right people.
And there are supports available to, teens that are, living through some type of dating violence in the school environment. And so that's another reason why it's so important to reach out to, to the agencies that are part of the coalition, to go to the website to look at ways of safety planning through situations like that. The supports are there. Sometimes there's a disconnection between the survivor and those supports, and that's the importance of community connectors like Willie.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
All right, now we've got some more on Willie's story.
That's right.
Right.
So let's take a listen of more of his story now.
My name is Willie Carver. I'm a writer, poet, Kentucky Teacher of the Year, and advocate for youth in Kentucky. We all know what it's like to be a kid. We all know the joys that can come, and we also know the powerlessness that can come. But we can also change that story for other kids so that they do believe that something's going to get better, and they do believe that someone's going to help. And each of us can make that happen. In my work advocating for Kentucky's youth, what I've found is just a few of us coming together and speaking up have been able to change policies for thousands of students in the state. Do not underestimate your ability to help the lives of children right now. To any child who has experienced violence, I would say that you have no idea how big and beautiful your story is going to be. I know lots of adults experiencing beautiful, fantastic lives who have histories with violence, but that didn't define them, and they were able to create joy and happiness and beauty.